Video games are indescribable. But I'm gonna try anyway. They're completely unique from any other form of entertainment. When you read a book or watch a movie, you might have an incredible experience going on a journey with fantastically written characters and an engaging plot. But video games allow you to experience all of these events firsthand. Sometimes you're making decisions that can affect the outcome of a game and shape your character. Other times you're going through action set pieces that, while in a movie, might look visually stunning. In a game, they allow you to be more engaged with the action and let you control what your characters are doing during each scene. See? Look how much fun I'm having.
RPG!
The non-gaming public has no idea what games are truly like. Look at this fucking idiot. He probably hasn't even played Catfight. I was always partial to this classic character. The stories and adventures in games are completely undersold if you aren't already privy to the video game medium. The non-gaming public, especially those who are older, don't really have a sense of what video games are. I think that's why there's a huge barrier when trying to introduce somebody to video games who didn't grow up with them. If you ask somebody who doesn't play games what they're like, they'd probably assume that most games have a specific amount of levels that you have to beat. Let's say someone saw you playing the Tomb Raider reboot, playing through some type of shootout. The fictional person is probably going to assume that the person playing chose this level and has to take out all the enemies to win. Maybe they will be shown a stat screen at the end. Now, us seasoned gamers know that this game has an engaging narrative, large locations to explore, as well as some exciting shootouts. My point is, games are no longer like Wolfenstein, Doom, or games found at the arcade. But as far as the non-gaming public knows, games haven't evolved past that, other than graphical enhancements. It would be hard for someone like this to even fathom something like an RPG with a branching storyline and a massive world to explore.
Of all the worrisome materials swirling about out there, Grand Theft Auto 3, one of the most popular, technically sophisticated, and graphic video games ever designed, may have given our generation of adults something new to worry about.
But the graphic violence has attracted angry critics. Denounced by Congress here in the US, the game has been outlawed in Australia.
Media has also heavily skewed the perception of violent video games. One time I was booting up Grand Theft Auto 3 and I had a much older person next to me immediately say the words, "Don't you..." Shit, YouTube's gonna kill me. They said, "Don't you... rape people in that game?" I think I'm good. This gave me a huge perspective on how much of the public perceives games like this. People who play games know how insane this sounds, but a lot of the population does have this mindset. The gameplay, the atmosphere, the narrative, the characters, when all of these elements align, it can make for an experience like no other. Throughout the years, humanity has been encouraged to pursue goals and go on adventures, migrating, settling, hunting. However, in the modern era, we don't need to focus on tasks like this anymore. Now life is more like, I'm a fucking baby, give me milk because I'm an incapable piece of degenerate trash. After that, it's time to go to school for 12 fucking years. Even more if you go to college. Then you go apply for a job and maybe eventually have a family. And now you have to take care of that incapable piece of garbage and the cycle repeats! I'm okay. I'm good. Nowadays, our lives are more meticulously laid out for us than ever before. Actually, I brought in Logic to come in and explain this. Hey Logic, take it away!
Too many people want to tell you what you can and cannot. Go to school, get a job, get married, and have kids. People gonna tell you what to do for long as you live.
Ooh. I hope you guys don't make any gifts of this.
Thank you, Logic. I'll see you at the birthday party, man.
I'm gone.
Our point is that in modern society, we don't have to deal with the problems that most of the world in the past has dealt with. This is obviously a luxury, but we miss out on using our passion for accomplishing goals to stay alive. Well, how do we fill this gaping hole? Fucking video games! Hey everybody, it's video games! Let's hear it for gaming! Games let us live out that fantasy of going on an actual adventure instead of being stuck in your boring-ass life. Look, it's this guy again who's never accomplished anything in his entire life. Maybe he should play a video game so his life becomes slightly more bearable. think atmosphere is a major part of why I personally like games. Some movies can do atmosphere very well, like The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Blade Runner, and Star Wars, but most of the time these elements are glossed over in cinema. I mean, it's hard to give a sense of atmosphere in a modern day setting when you only have 2 hours to tell an entire story. But when those restrictions are let loose and you are free to explore and get immersed in a world, it can really help in making you feel a deep personal connection to that game. Assassin's Creed 2 is a good example. Exploring the city during the day gives you a feeling of a bustling, alive city. Even though it's nothing more than a backdrop, the AI isn't particularly good, but the art style and the sounds make it feel alive. The music also contributes to this feeling very well. It makes you feel like you really have traveled back in time. The choir singing in the background as you traverse the rooftops is so soothing. It gets even better at night when the sounds change and the city begins to light up. Holy shit, I could run in that game for hours. The original Resident Evil games don't look very remarkable, but they still have a mysterious and haunting atmosphere, which is largely due to its music. It definitely wasn't the voice acting.
I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things.
The whole soundtrack for these games are great, but what I specifically want to touch on are the save room themes. In the original games, the music in the save rooms gives you this feeling of being safe at the current moment while still making you feel the looming danger right outside the door. Listen to these. Red Dead Redemption is also a great example. It has an absolutely incredible atmosphere. Even though much of the map is absent of any actual buildings, it feels more alive than many other games from that era do. The wide open areas are so detailed. While you roam around the world, so many interactions have the potential to occur.
Easy, boy.
Even after getting 100% in the game, I still get excited to see what I might find just because there's such variety in the encounters. And like Assassin's Creed, the music in the game is a huge contributing factor to its atmosphere. The gentle strum of the guitar while you're alone, riding across the countryside is so euphoric. The ability to take your time and explore at your own leisure is what makes these experiences so unique. Film soundtracks can make you feel some beautiful emotions, like again, The Lord of the Rings, but you aren't allowed to spend any more time there than the filmmakers want you to. So can someone please make a real Middle-earth RPG? Harry Potter finally did this shit, let's go! Another great example is the game Grim Fandango. If you haven't played it, it's about the Land of the Dead or the 8th Underworld, specifically the journey to get to the 9th Underworld or the Land of Eternal Rest. Our main guy Manny works for a company that helps give people travel packages to get to the 9th Underworld, based on the life they have lived. Manny is screwed over by a corrupt company he works for, and sends a wonderful woman down an awful path, and spends years in the underworld trying to help the young woman on her journey. You can't die in the game. There isn't any combat or real danger. And at first, I thought this would just be a really great movie, and that it didn't really need to be a game. It has some of the best writing and music I've ever seen in a video game. But as I continued to play, I realized why this was a video game. Exploring each environment is such a great experience. Each location has so many interesting characters to talk to, and a new track plays in nearly every area, which seamlessly transitions into one another as you traverse the world. Taking my time and exploring each area with that smooth jazz, noir-style music in the background is such a fucking vibe. Each location feels like an actual place, and every character is so expressive and alive whenever they open their mouths. It has one of the best atmospheres in any game I've ever played. This shit came out in 1998, and it does a better job of creating characters, a world, and atmosphere than most games do today. If you've never played it, then what the fuck are you doing? Stop watching this video right now, you dumbass, and go play the game, or I'm taking away your gaming privileges for a week. It got a remaster in 2015, so there's no excuse. You're pissing me off. I mean, no, you finish watching the video first, but then you should go play Grim Fandango. It's really good. Wait, what the fuck? I'm rereading the script and I just realized I didn't mention the Elder Scrolls once. Okay, let me fix that real quick. These games have had an amazing atmosphere since 1994 with Arena. Even now, wandering the streets in those older games still feels like a living, breathing place. But the 3D games are where the atmosphere really shines. Every Elder Scrolls game from Morrowind on has the same composer, Jeremy Soule. His music makes the atmosphere of those games. By modern standards, Morrowind might not look all that impressive, but Soule's music constantly playing in the background makes that game feel timeless. All 4 of the Elder Scrolls games he composed have a simply incredible atmosphere. While his music is a very memorable part of the atmosphere in those games, I can't overlook the other work put into them. Walking through a forest and entering a tavern from the blistering cold is such a wonderful experience. Just sitting and listening to the fire crackle as you hear the faint sound of songs or conversations is so cozy. It feels like having a warm blanket wrapped around you while drinking hot chocolate during Christmas watching Harry Potter. I also quickly want to mention Minecraft, a game that isn't known for its atmosphere, but I still think it accomplishes something very impressive. Minecraft's graphics are obviously nothing to gawk at, but the way that it's designed, that doesn't really matter. The noises of the different animals and the pitter-patter of Steve's little feet bring me so much happiness and nostalgia, and the soothing music brings all that together. There isn't any actual fast battle theme in Minecraft. It's all just peaceful melodies. Even though there can be tense moments in Minecraft, the music makes sure you constantly feel calm and happy during your time with the game. It gives off a mysterious, calm, otherworldly feeling of adventure. It's a place you want to go, even though it's just a bunch of blocks that look like they were rendered in 1997. Next, I want to mention Fortnite. The way the battle bus... I'm just kidding. That's just a joke. Every single time I think I'm done with this video, I play a new game that fits this video perfectly. Each time I sit on a couch in Eco, I spend a few minutes just listening to the song that plays before continuing. It's such an airy and peaceful melody. But something else that helps build the atmosphere is the absence of sound. Eco does this beautifully. Most of the game doesn't have a soundtrack. It mostly relies on ambience. The sound of the wind when you're up high, the sound of the birds chirping, and the small little noises the characters make. The lack of music can be just as powerful as the music itself. In this video, I mainly wanted to talk about the atmosphere of games. But there are a plethora of other reasons why games are such an incredible medium. Arkham Knight is one of my favorite games of all time because of the innovative way it tells its narrative, with Batman slowly getting his mind infected, and that being reflected in the world around you, with Joker appearing on things like posters. It's so subtle yet so effective. I'm rambling at this point, but just know that one of my favorite things about games is the atmosphere, but that doesn't mean that that's the only reason why games are so unique. There are so many variables when it comes to game design, and it's impossible to touch on every single one. The physics, the mechanics, the way they bring us together. I'm sure that you have your own reasons why you love games, and I'd love to hear them. What I'm trying to say with this video is that films, books, and television are all amazing ways to tell stories, but video games really can do something that no other medium can accomplish. You are able to play out every moment on your own, which can make you have a deeper connection to the game than anything else. We are at a point where games have the same production value as big budget cinema. So combine that with the fact that you now get to take control and go at your own pace, and you have a masterpiece on your hands. Okay, so now that this video is out, I don't want to see another old man write an article about why video games can never be art. That's one of the dumbest fucking statements I've ever heard. Games are just as powerful as films when it comes to their writing, directing, acting, and visuals. So yeah, turns out video games are actually kind of neat. This guy should really go play a game. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today, so shut the fuck up, no one gives a shit about you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.